Welcome to Saturday Studio Sessions with Pamela. Today I'm featuring the May stamp of the month called Pinwheels, along with the Tommy Workshop on the Go. Colors that coordinate with this kit are Outdoor Denim, Cranberry Honey, and Desert Sand. Today I'm using the Originals Card Confidence program. I'll be using the pattern featured on page 59 called Lucky 3. Using the large pinwheel, I put it on a large block, and it's a brand new stamp, so I want to season it. So I use the palm of my hand to season the stamp. Along with every My Acrylic stamp set comes a 6-inch foam insert. This works perfectly to put under your cardstock to help get the best impression when stamping. I'll be using cranberry ink to stamp the large pinwheel with. Since the stamp is so large, I'm going to lay it on the table and hold the ink pad in my hand to ink it up. I usually like to do a twist, twist, and a tap, tap to get good coverage. Now stamp your image on some scratch colonial white paper. Give a good even pressure, and when you pull it up, you should have the perfect image. The Pinwheel stamp set coordinates perfectly with the Cricut Artiste collection. On the carrier sheet, you'll see where it says Artiste. We also have an Art Philosophy cartridge. And then up by each stamp set, you'll see the size to cut and the page number. This particular image is found on page 50 of the Artiste cartridge and should be cut at 2 3/4 inches. You can also easily cut these stamped images with your microtip scissors. It's always a good idea to clean your My Acrylic stamps using the acrylic spritz spray along with the stamp scrubber. Spritz your stamp with a little bit of cleaner and then scrub well in all directions to get all the ink out. This will also help dry your stamp. Now remove your stamp carefully from the acrylic block and return it to the carrier sheet on the stamp set. Next, I'll be using the map image from the Tommy Workshop on the Go stamp set. Now we'll ink the stamp up in Desert Sand ink. And I want a light effect, so I'm going to stamp it second generation. So stamp once on your scratch paper, and now stamp the actual image onto your piece of cardstock. I'm going to repeat this step, and just to give it a random look, I'm going to change the stamp around and repeat it until I fill the space. To continue with the antique look, I'm going to take a round sponge that I've cut into pieces and use my Desert Sand ink just to ink distress it around all the edges of the paper. I am even distressing the Outdoor Denim cardstock because of the white core in the cardstock. This will help tone that down some with the Desert Sand ink. So once you have all your pieces ink distressed, don't forget about the pieces on the inside. You'll also want to distress those too. Now add just a little bit more Desert Sand ink to the pinwheel just to give it a nice antique look. Using the banner image from the Tommy Workshop on the Go kit, place it on a long block at an angle. This is what's great about my acrylic stamps. You can shape them in any shape you want. Using Outdoor Denim ink and the banner stamp, stamp on your piece of cardstock as shown. Now follow along as I assemble my card. Now using 3D foam tape, adhere a little bit behind the pinwheel to give it some added dimension. Now add the pinwheel as desired or as shown. Now I want to add my message using the Follow Your Dreams stamp from the Tommy Workshop on the Go stamp set. Don't forget to season your new stamps. Stamp your image in outdoor denim ink onto a scrap piece of colonial white cardstock. I'm leaving a little bit of room to the right of the image so I can add an accent later. Cut the colonial white cardstock down to your desired size. Then on one end, cut a dovetail using your microtip scissors. I like to cut down the center and then from corner to center on each side. Don't forget to ink distress your colonial white piece so it will match the rest of your card. Now cut some cranberry baker's twine from the Harvest Assortment package. You'll need enough to wrap around the little piece 3 or 4 times. The baker twine is cranberry and white. I'm going to use my desert sand ink to antique it a little bit using a sponge. Just run the baker's twine through the inked sponge once or twice. Now wrap the baker's twine around the banner piece 3 or 4 times and secure in a knot. I'm bringing one of the tails underneath the baker's twine so that when I tie it off, it'll tie all around the baker's twine. Now adhere this piece using 3D foam tape to give it some dimension and depth. I'm using a durable artisan stub to put into the center of the pinwheel. Now it's time to assemble the inside of the card pieces. Finishing the inside of the card will give you a nice place to write your sweet message. That completes our project today. Thank you so much for joining me.